You know, when I think of comfort food desserts, I think of speed scratch. Almost homemade, maybe from scratch, but it has to be easy, it has to be quick, it has to be economical. Well, again, right now it's apple season in our area, so I have an applesauce cake, so delicious. And by the way, we also have videos on how to make your own homemade applesauce, so check our website out too for that. Now this was interesting how I got this recipe. It starts out with a super moist cake mix, yellow, and it will say pudding in the mix. Now if you don't have that, if you just have a yellow cake or even a white cake, what you want to do is you want to get a pack of instant vanilla pudding, that small one, the 3.5 ounce pack, and use that. So you can either get a cake with pudding in the mix or not, and then just add dry pudding mix to it. So how I got this recipe was interesting. As I break the 3 eggs in a bowl, I'm going to tell you how I got the recipe. And again, these are from my girl. She laid a pretty thick-shelled egg today. Carolyn Quinter, who is a wonderful woman here in Claremont County, and her husband's a Methodist church minister, she gave me this recipe, and she said she loves it. It's great with a cup of coffee or tea. It's not her own. She said it's been from the 50s. She got it in a 1950s cookbook. But you know, those tried and trues are great. So thanks, Caroline, for sharing this recipe. So you're going to start off with 3 eggs, along with the cake mix, 1/4 cup of oil, just canola, 2 cups of applesauce, and the applesauce can just be regular. You can use sweetened, unsweetened, homemade, whatever. But you want to have it smooth, pureed if you use your homemade. And you know what I love about this? Even though it's apple season now, it's not all year round, and this is a great moist cake. You don't even need any icing on it. So we've got 2 cups of applesauce. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this up a little bit and then add the cake mix, and that's going to be our batter. Whoops, got a little splashing going on here. It's reality cooking, folks. Now we're going to add our cake mix. Whoops, there we go. And mix it up. This is a great cake for the kids to make because you really can't mess it up. And you know, kids, when they start out cooking, they love baking. Because this can even be mixed by hand. And I have to tell you, you know what my grandkids' favorite mixer is? Not the electric ones. Some of you remember those old handheld beaters that you turned? They love to use those. I think this is just about there. You know, I always say age is a number. You don't realize you're getting older because, you know, if you're healthy, age truly is a number. But my grandkids asked me the other day, the same question their fathers asked me when they were young. Was electricity invented when I was born, when you were born, meaning me? Whew, that's a dose of reality. Yes, it was, by the way. All right, so here's our batter. Now, this is what makes it extra special. Caroline's original recipe said to take a cup of sugar and 2 tablespoons of cinnamon and mix it up together. She said 2/3 a cup is plenty. The last time I made it with 1/2 cup of sugar and a tablespoon of cinnamon, and that was plenty also. Again, we'll share the recipe for you, so don't worry. So whatever you want, anywhere from 1/2 a cup to a cup. And what I'm going to do is after I've sprayed my 9x13 pan, by the way, cinnamon, oh my gosh, this smells great. A good time, again, as I said before, do the sniff test with your spices right before the holidays to make sure they're nice and still potent. You're going to take half of this and just sprinkle it on the bottom, more or less. And Carolyn does it on the bottom, but I also do the sides. Doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do is just fine. Whoops. There we go. A few up here. There, I'm just trying to get it even. Oh well. There you go. That'll work. Pour our batter in. And then what we're going to do, we're going to swirl the rest of it through the batter. And we're going to bake it at 350 about 50 to 60 minutes. You can check it after 45, but in my oven it was done at about 50. So every oven's different. Now I wouldn't hesitate licking the batter, the spatula, because I know these eggs are from my hens, but if it's got raw eggs in it, I suppose you shouldn't do that. So what we're going to do now, this smells so good. This is the most moist cake. Excuse me. We're going to sprinkle the rest on top, and we'll just use this. Take a fork or a knife, swirl that in. Makes a beautiful pattern. There we go. Again, preheated 350-degree oven. Check it about 45 minutes. It usually takes anywhere from 50 to 60. And we have one that has baked and just cooling now, so stay tuned. Okay. Well, my applesauce cake was in the oven 50 minutes or so, about 350 degrees. Now when you're checking a cake, to make sure it's done, stick a toothpick in the middle. It should come out pretty clean. This has a few crumbs clinging to it. That's all right, just because of the applesauce. But it did take about 50 minutes, so we're ready to serve it. This serves anywhere from 12 to 15. So moist. There we go. I'm going to call this Caroline Quinter's applesauce cake, even though she said it's not her original recipe. It's a great cake to share, to tote to a potluck. It just goes great with any comfort food meal that you're fixing.